There are a few buttons that you really need to work with to master. Let's talk about the tie-off button. So this is an immediate locking stitch at any point in your sewing. So if you're sewing along, so I've got a decorative stitch number 45 on the screen, and I needed to stop right here. I've stopped in the middle of the pattern. I just needed to lock immediately. Touch this here and then go ahead and sew. It will kind of do a couple stitches back and forth and then it will stop. My foot's still actually on the foot control. If I was doing a straight stitch, let's do this, and I don't want to go back and forth lots of stitches like with the reverse button. I just need like a little tiny tie off. So I can touch that and go ahead and it'll go back and forth like just a couple times and then stop. Use your thread snips and let's see the difference here. So at the end of my straight stitch, you see just that little back, forth, back, forth. In the decorative stitch, this is where I touched it. So it gave me the locking stitch kind of halfway in between. Now let's talk about this because usually when you sew a decorative stitch, you don't know where the end is. Usually I don't. I can watch for it and figure it out, but that's no fun. Let me take you one step further here. So if you wanted the decorative stitch to finish the stitch it's on, then lock, let me show you that trick. So let's go ahead and we'll pick let's see here. Oh, there's so many stitches. Let's just do 52. Okay, so 52 is like this little scroll here. So we're sewing along, and we know we're getting down to approximately where we want it to lock. While it's sewing, touch the thread snips, and it will finish the pattern, do that tie off, and it will cut. So that means you don't get half of a pattern. You get that locking stitch right at the end. But you notice I need to push this while I was in motion, because if you stop, okay, so if I was just sewing through here and I paused, then I did it, you're just going to get a cut in the middle of your decorative stitch. Now we didn't get any lock and we just didn't get a finished pattern. So just remember the tie off button, that's going to be immediate. It's wherever you touch it, you're going to get locking stitches. You can touch it while you're sewing, or you can be stopped and then sew again, and it still is going to do those locking stitches immediately. Or if you're sewing a decorative stitch and you want it to sew to the end, touch the thread snips while you're sewing, let it finish the pattern. It will lock it, it'll cut it, and you're done. Perfect.